Hi, I'm Teresa and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a bookshelf tour. Now, I can only apologise in advance for how weird I think some of the angles in this video are going to be. My bed is right in front of my bookshelf, so I can't really get in at the lower shelves with a camera. So I'm gonna have to do some weird things to show you them, but hopefully it will all still be very enjoyable. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. So just very briefly, at the top we've got what you'll be very familiar with from my videos is my rainbows across the top, and then some darker books and some series down here. And yes, I'm going to go through them more individually now. So here are my bookshelves from a bit further away. You can see I've got my favourites where I film at the top. I'm moving down some series and bits, and we can't see the rest because of my bed. But there's lots and lots of books there. So yes, here we've got our first shelf. So this is my kind of dark red all the way into blue in my rainbow, and some of my all-time faves facing out. And yes, I'm just going to go through each of these books individually. I'm not going to do this for all of the books on my shelf because that would take forever, but definitely for these kind of two top shelves because these are my favourites. And now onto this shelf, we've got some more series, like Gideon the Ninth, Crier's War, some books that are too big here, and just a bit of a mess really. I'm not happy with how this shelf and the one next to it looks just quite yet, but hopefully I will be able to fix that. And again, here are all of the books on it. And now here is the other side, which I don't think you really see in my videos, so welcome to the other side of my bookshelf. We've got our blues, into our purples and pinks, and then white at the very end. And again, some more series, some books that don't fit 'cause they're too big. Just a bit of a mess really. Again, not happy with this shelf, but we move, I'll fix it eventually. So again, here are all the books I have on the top. And here is what is happening on the bottom shelf. In this shelf here, we have got the beginnings of some series. We've got the Shadowhunter books, we've got the Grishaverse books, we've got A Darker Shade of Magic and the Night Circus, just because they fit. There isn't meant to be a third book, but my friend's borrowing it. And then the big boy hardbacks from these series as well. And yes, it's just, again, a bit of a mess. I don't like how it looks, but this is what we're working with at the moment. And here we have got my Sarah J Maas books. So we've got the big boy hardbacks of the Cotter series, then normal paperbacks, and the just paperbacks of the Throne of Glass series. These were my all-time faves for a very long time, so they do get pride of place on the shelf. Also because there's a whole lot of them, they need a shelf to themselves. I do hope to eventually have these stacked horizontally with Crescent City and the fourth Cotter books. I still want to read that, I think, but I've not gotten around to it yet. So over on this shelf we've just got some series. We've got The Crown's Game, Stalking Jack the Ripper, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, The Raven Cycle, then the Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus books, and the one King Chronicles book I own because I still need to complete that series. Here is again some more series. We've got the Illuminate Files, God knows what I'm going to do when I finish the third book, The Wrath and the Dawn, The Young Elites, Completely underrated series. I adore this one. Read it for villains and like villain origin stories. It's so good. We've got the Lunar Chronicles, the Hunger Games, the Maze Runner, the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, Hush Hush, and Legend. I had what may be called questionable taste when I was reading these books, but I loved them, so they're staying. They're nostalgic, okay? But yeah, not sure I'd enjoy them quite so much now. And then down here we've got the beginning of my TBR shelf. So we've got some along here in a nice little, not quite rainbow, but some kind of colour mix. I think it looks really nice. And then over at this side we've got these three that I've looked out because I'm going to be reading them in a vlog soon. Then we've got these three that I've read this month and I've not found a place for them on my shelves yet. I tend to leave a stack of the books I read during the month and then put them away after I film my wrap up, so that's what these three are waiting for. Down here we've just got another mix of series and some standalones. So we've got Looking for Alaska, Enchanté, the Three Dark Crown series, The Sun is Also a Star, The Alchemist, the Trial by Fire series, which was criminally underrated, the Selection series, We Were Liars, The Pearl Thief, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Between Shades of Grey, Everything Everything, One of Us is Lying, Red Queen, the Carry On series, Goodnight Mr. Tom, and Only Mostly Devastated. Down here at the very, very bottom, we've got some ones that I don't care about too much, but I don't want to unhaul either. We've got Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Diabolic, Black Widow Forever Red, the I Tell You I Love You But Then I'd Have to Kill You series, which I adored, and Lament and Shiver by Baggy Stiefvater, some classics, Great Gatsby and The Picture of Dorian Gray. We've got my big boy arc of Plain Bad Heroines, just because I really like this cover, keep away from impressionable female readers. Here is more of my TBR. These are books I got before 2020, so these are my older books, and I'm trying to thin this out a bit and get rid of them quite quickly by reading them, so these are the ones I've decided I want to keep, but it is taking some time. And finally, the last shelf is another TBR shelf. This is where the majority of my TBR books are. We've got a whole stack here of hardcovers and just big paperbacks like these two. And then some more big chunky hardbacks. Everything Leads to You just stuck in there because I needed space for it somewhere. And another stack here. There's no real order to these, so there's a big mix of genres and age ratings and like types of book. It's just a whole massive mess, really. But I'm trying to get through it, I promise. But yes, let me know if you can actually see any of these. Which one do you think I should read soon? Which ones do you recommend for my TBR? Because I definitely need the motivation to read some of them. And finally, just very quickly, I have some foreign language books, uni books, my old Harry Potter books, and just some other bits and bobs over on this shelf. And yes, that has been my bookshelf tour. I hope you've enjoyed. I really don't know what I'm doing here and it's so awkward with the angle, so I hope it's not horrible and terrible. The last couple ones were definitely filmed from like under my bed, so I'm sorry if they're a bit dark and horrible, but what can you do? I cannot move my bed, it's way too heavy. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed. As always, I'll have links down below to my social media if you want to keep up with me elsewhere. I definitely recommend you do. And yes, just thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and I'll see you in another video soon.